I read the papers and Americans' cars are being repossessed, not just boats and other toys, as the repo man say, but literally um, people's cars are being taken out of drugstore parking lots. Probably they can go to the casino and get half the cars that are on their list. And these are the industries that are up, as is crime in urban and I guess rural America. And it's sad to see that, as The Economist has reported, people's retirement funds are shriveling up. People's savings, and Americans tend to save very little, tend to live very high above their means, meaning on credit. It is a national obsession, I guess, that easily would follow consumer lifestyle, this constant, unsatiated desire to always want to get something, not to have something. That was before, but to want to get something. So this constant getting something, people are cha-ching happy when like a Nelly can slide a credit card down a black woman's ass. Everybody slides a credit card down some ass. Everybody's living well above. Even that Nelly. That black woman, that sister wouldn't be looking at him if he didn't have all that cash. Because he wasn't about nothing but talking about and exploiting somebody else to get something. And that's what I see Obama is inheriting. That hip hop artists like Nelly um, talk about it, try and live it, I think is the greatest. They mirror their society, and I think that as urban griots, they still serve to their artist, and they mirror life just as much as my screen here on my MacBook is mirroring me. My lips are dry, but anyway, um, I don't know. I look at America and I see that all of these are the things that this brother is inheriting, and I weep for him. We are at the end of a civil war. At least the only other time where we faced such a massive depletion of resources, to where you have neighborhoods throughout cities throughout the country, not just retirement communities, but just housing projects that come to a grinding halt. Go through Atlanta or around Atlanta and just see all these, new 200 to 400,000, 400 to 600,000, these subdivisions, these false neighborhoods, these suburban ghettos, and they're just tractors sitting there, frames of houses, empty, unfinished. People are working, but a lot of people aren't, and a lot of people are hungry. And you tell me that it's not a so-called role of a government to intervene. What does intervention mean? Many people are discomforted by the use of the term socialism, um, and understandably so. It's a broad word, and for most Americans, its usage has been restricted to what we learned in school and on television. And that's frightening. That's scary. Images of socialism in American culture um, are piled into many things that in any way challenge or contradict free market capitalism. So that spectrum of worldviews, of perspectives, of ways to govern, of expectations of good governance are all colored by this dominance, even perpetuated by these sorts of journals. But I have to say, are we able to think critically about the world around us? Are we able to think analytically about information as it's fed to us? I mean, I can read an article in an Economist and relate it to the physical world around me, for example. And I always say, if you just analytical thinking 101, apply a theory um, to deconstruct the world around you. Um, One way that the world around us is constructed is a gender, race, and class hierarchy. Um, we're sold free market capitalism. All of us, you, me, Nelly, George Bush, are sold. literally sold. Now I'm not, and then end up selling free market capitalism as in anybody can have anything they want as long as they're willing to pay for it, including freedom. We can even buy countries or buy weapons to dominate countries. But that's how we relate to each other, one another. Look at that movie with Keanu Reeves that's out now. What is the name of that movie? Anyway, where he plays an alien that's about to destroy Earth because we're about to destroy humans because we're destroying the Earth. I mean, it's a classic. I won't get into the details of the movie now. I'll save that for a critique of the movie, which is a really interesting movie. But it's showing that I think more masses of people are understanding that it's our way of life that is destroying the planet. And I want you to see that movie. There are some users on YouTube here who comment on my videos and who really get hung up on this word socialism. I guess in many ways I'm responding to that mentality. I really do sympathize with it because what I learned about socialism in school was nil, and I'm a fairly decently, you know, schooled guy. I'm not a brilliant guy, but I know how to read very well, and I know how to think critically about the world around me. That, after all, is the goal of education. Otherwise, it's just rote memorization. It's no different from what we accuse the traditional English and French systems of doing and then perpetuating throughout the developing world to create drones. Well, wake up, America, and smell the coffee. We had a lot of drones out there. People have to lose their jobs. We have to sink into financial crisis, moral crisis, invading countries, um, abandoning um, all moral standing, torture, highest prison rate, institutionalized racism, um, a great deal of rhetoric about freedom and equality, yet very little uh, done as a people to support the idea of freedom and equality. And in fact, the only thing that we've done in a positive way that was that where the actions were consistent with um, the rhetoric was the civil rights movement. Um, Before and after, including the gay rights movement, including women's lib, um, it re-engendered a class hierarchy so much to the degree that, I mean, look at, Proposition, is it 8 or 9 in California now about so-called gay marriage, which people are surprised to see that there are rich white gay people on one side and so-called black people on the other. The fact that there would be in a free-thinking nation, the fact that there would be that ideas would divide people along these lines, that should be a clue that there's more than meets the eye. And so, no, I don't go to a West Hollywood and think, wow, I'm with my people. I go to West Hollywood and think, okay, so I'm with people who are also gay, some of whom might share my educational background or even class experience. But I'm also well aware that my roots are vastly different, and my interests are vastly different. My aims, my goals, my mission in life is vastly different than to create a gay ghetto. And I know that someone like Harvey Milk had much greater intentions, had a much wider vision, which is why he was assassinated. Because he wasn't just about creating a gay ghetto, a haven for, those for the exclusive elite. But that's when I talk about thinking critically in the world around you, taking care of one another. If you call that socialism, well, we have a lot to take care of. And it does take knowing, elder people and children. Look at Obama bringing his children and his wife and his mother-in-law across. Think about the generational divides that we have in this nation. Okay, so we leave our old people to rot as children who are raised by children now do what? Become hoodlums on streets. We're in a sad place, America. It's going to take all of us, every single one of us, to get out.